Hello, I am the project manager, and today I'll be pitching the idea of a rebranding, taking French Connection to just FC UK. Through the SOSTAC model, I will be taking you through the presentation and hopefully you'll enjoy the pitch. So, to start, what's the problem? If we're looking at research, there's been evidence for brand identity crisis, French Connection versus FC UK. This has led to our customers being unsure of how to identify with the brand, leading to a lack of brand loyalty. So, situational analysis. Let's look at you guys. Your roles as a connected and external stakeholders is to provide feedback and guidance on the scope of the project. Lucy as my tutor and Shui as my mentor. Through the STP process, the team were able to whittle down who FC UK were talking to in the campaign, giving them an insight into what appeals to the consumer as a buyer. The team used psychographic and demographic segmentation to analyse in detail who the consumer really would be, creating to this persona, Edgy Ella, making it much clearer about who this campaign is going to resonate with. By creating this persona, we can effectively create a marketing communications mix as well as selecting platforms that will best reach the target segment, giving the rebranding the best chance of success. But why would Edgy Ella be an ideal customer? Well, therefore, why? Stephen Marks said, the whole business is born on the desire to be original, distinctive, and accessible. Whether FC UK is shocked or amused, it certainly made you think. As you can see from some of her persona characteristics, this is something that we believe that Edgy Ella would be interested in. Next, call to action. Creating a buzz around the rebranding, we want the customers to like the social posts of the ambassadors promoting the new brand images. We want them to identify with this new brand message. And in the end, we want them to buy the limited edition line. These are just some examples of the clothing that we're on about. Messaging. Messaging is so important. FC UK will use emotional messaging with a social tone of voice. We want to position it as the it brand of the past, the present, and the future. The rebranding will be self-constructual from the MFBC model to create synergy between the brand and the customer. By revisiting the old FC UK branding and then through the messaging, it will allow the FC UK lovers, the old ones and the new ones, to come together. And they'll see through our messaging, we will show our brand values, which they will be able to identify with. This is my marketing communications mix, if you'd like to have a look. For the rebranding, we will need to use different marketing communications. We're going to be using advertising, PR, direct marketing, sales and promotion to ensure the SMART objectives are met. The main platform of the campaign is social media, having influencers partake in collaboration brand challenges and posting paid social content on their channels, promoting, again, the limited edition clothing that we'll be making. From primary and secondary research, it's shown that this demographic best responsive to these forms of marketing and advertising. So, how are FC UK going to make this happen? Well, these are my SMART objectives if you'd like to have a read. And my final SMART objective with an example of what this SMART objective could produce. Not something that everybody wants to talk about, but let's talk tactics. Through the use of Upfluence, the team was able to gain an accurate price per engagement to predict the cost of each influencer we plan to use in this campaign. We also took a look at venues for media days and the shoots, and we've got an accurate quote from each, totaling our budget for the whole campaign at $52,235. If you'd just like to have a little read of the information we've got there, we've also got a bit about how influential they are, whether they're a low tier or a high tier influencer. How are we going to make this happen? We need to take action. Mapping out the campaign through a Gantt chart which through the Gantt chart, which clearly shows how the campaign will run. There are a range of connected and external stakeholders which will have a massive influence on how the campaign runs. By using a Gantt chart, it will enable the marketing team to predict possible problems whilst the running of the campaign. How do we measure success? This is so key. So we'll take the marketing mix and the call to action and make sure they are measurable. Taking action to ensure the campaign is successful, we need to meet the SMART objectives. Putting in place the targets and analytical tools will be able to gauge the success of the campaign and how it goes along. And this is just an example. This is an example of the clothing that could produce a PAQ/FTC UK collaboration. As you can see for the fake hack, we would get Google Analytics to track the website clicks and the traffic. For the influencers, they'd have a 10% promotional code at checkout, which all of their customers can use, and we'll be able to track each one because it'll be just on the limited edition clothing. Unfortunately, not everything can go to plan, so we need to think about contingency plans. These are just two of the ones that we've come up with. So we've got the press releases, and on the press release there is an embargo on the November the 2nd. The contingency plan being to make sure that the influencer content would be approved and signed off by the marketing directors prior to the embargo release date, purely just in case the news publications decide to go ahead and break our embargo. Another one, people, a connected stakeholder being an influencer. They are human, they may decide actually they don't want to do it anymore. To avoid this happening, we're going to put them in a contract that binds the influencers to post X amount of content throughout the campaign with a dropout fee. Secondly, just in case they still drop out, we'll have backup influencers in mind to contact if they do. So to summarize, we're going to have an influencer campaign over 4 months to promote the new brand image, and that in due course will increase brand loyalty, leading to higher sales. Thank you.